Hello everybody, thanks for watching. This is Higher Level Beauty's first video tutorial on how to do the most commonly asked questions, curls with my curved C-curve flat iron. So I really love this flat iron. I've been using it for years. It is a Babyliss brand. As you can tell, it's old because I have heat marks on it. You can get new ones now that have the Babyliss written on there. I believe it's just called C-curve. And it is now I think the new ones are digital temperature gauge, but I can still control my temperature on the side here. So the way mine works is in like the lower number, so the very hottest it goes to is to 50, whereas the other ones it's like 450, right? So I like to keep mine at about 40 for my hair. Now I'm going to show you the products that I love to use, and then I will get going on how to do this. So the very first product that I always recommend is a aerosol hairspray that is protectant to your hair for heat. So I love this Char. It's by Surface. Surface is a plant-based company, local in Saskatchewan. So that's super awesome. The Char is a finishing spray. It's hold, shine, and protect. It works really, really great because it gives you that textured look, but it's still super flexible, so I can run my fingers through it afterwards once I have the curls in there and break it up. So that's what I'm going to start with. Then you're going to need a clip and a brush. Okay, that's pretty much it. So I have brushed through my hair. This is how I woke up. Obviously I put makeup on and got dressed, but my hair is still just a blow dry from yesterday. So what I like to do is go from above my ears, the tops of my ears, and I just keep my fingers always pushing on my head and just draw a line straight back, just like that. And I'm just going to clip the very top up just by twisting it and securing it with a clip. Okay. My hair is pretty thick, so usually one clip is good. Then what I do is I spray it with a protectant spray all over. And now the key to curling your hair, the way I do it anyways, that clients want to know about, is section size and the direction of curl, and also kind of the angle that you're holding your iron at. So I'm going to do the whole video of my whole head, not in high speed, so you can kind of follow along. So when you take your section of hair, general rule of thumb is to take your section the same width as your iron. Okay, so that is about 1.5 inches. So when I hold my hair up like this, I'm going to take a section. Now this one is over top of my ear, but it's about that size. Now it will make a difference if you hold your hair at this direction, or this direction. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, there's a little bit trickiness with the iron. If I were to hold my iron this way and curl this way, it would make a nice smooth curve. If I still wanted the curl to go this way, but I started curling it this way and pulling it this way, you're going to see that you'll get a line and a kink in there, right? So I like to hold my hair completely straight out. This is not going to give too much volume. If I over direct it like this, you're going to see it's going to come up and down, which is going to give you a lot of volume. But I like mine a medium volume. Then, if I can show you the angles right, I'm going to clamp my hair like this and turn it away from my head. So as I'm putting it in, I'm going to clamp it and turn it towards the back of the room or the back of my head. And I am crossing my arm over. Okay, so it does take a little while to get used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's like you've always known it, just like riding a bike. So you're going to put it in, do one full turn, and pull down. Okay, now you can see when it's straight out what volume that's going to do. I'm going to do a different angle just so you can kind of see the difference. Now there's going to be a little bit more hair here because the distance is only from here, but now I'm going down to the bottom of my hairline, right? So there's going to be about this much. But I'm still taking the same width, about 1.5 inches. Now I'm going to do it lower so you can kind of see the difference. Not as much volume at the root, but it still curls really nice. Okay, and then the next section, I'm just going to kind of do it by feel. I've got about 1 inch. What you can do is take your paddle brush or any kind of brush and give it a swipe. If you're really wanting a lot of volume, you can take it and go backwards and give yourself a little bit of back combing in there so you can see how that's kind of standing straight up. So it's up to you. I'm just going to show you a few different ways. So clamping it in, curling it away from the front of my head, and pulling it straight out. Okay. Now I'm going to come back to this side, and basically I've already done to half of my head, and I'm going to come back to this side. So taking about an inch section, I've already sprayed it with a heat protectant. I'm going to grab my flat iron. Now I'm going to clamp it, and I'm going to curl it away from my head. You can see the way that it's curving. I'm going to pull it away from my head towards the back. And I'm going to over direct it so you can see the difference, okay? Now, do you see how the volume comes straight out and then down? Whereas this one is quite upwards, right? And if I were to do one that's completely down low, that's how you create your volume. It's just how you're holding the angle when you're pulling it out. Now, I'm not too worried because I can pull this back down. So we'll grab another section, about 1.5 inches, same width as my iron. I'm going to clamp it, turn one full rotation with my wrist, keeping my ends from not slipping out and pulling it out. Now I like my curls to kind of flow together and not be very individualized. So I'm keeping the direction that I'm curling my hair all going the same way, so that if they wanted to kind of clump together and make one big loose curl, then they could. But if I wanted them to stay really individual, then I would take actually this section, go backwards, the next section, go forwards, and you alternate them. And that's how they stay very individualized for more of a formal look or a very tousled, curly, messy look where you want those curls to stay very individualized. Okay, so now I'm taking my next section. And notice I didn't break my curls up at all. I want to keep them cooling off where they're at. So I'm just going to go a little bit higher, probably a good another 1.5 inches, same width as my curling iron or my flat iron. Go straight across. Now I'm just going to speed up the process a little bit for doing the top here, now that you've seen it. So I'm going to spray it with the Char Texture Heat Protectant hairspray. Take about 1.5 inches, clamp it, and pull. Clamp, pull. Now, if I wanted this to be a lot more curled, as if you probably rewatch that, I probably didn't curl it at the root. I probably curled it as I pulled it down. But you could do a full rotation right at your root and then pull, and it'll be more curled right at the very top. Right, so it was further down. Okay. Taking the next section, just going by feel. I can feel that down here was already clumped. Just taking the next section. Just going by feel. Doesn't have to be exact, but if your size of your section matches the width of your curling iron, structurally, it supports itself a lot better. Okay, coming back to this side, I'm going to work my way back from the middle to the front. So I've got my section, still keeping it at an angle that's 90 degrees, not over directed or under directed, because I like lots of volume. I love big hair. The thing I love about this style is that it will stay in my hair for quite a few days, depending on how I'm styling it. And as a stylist, you kind of get used to never having a free hand. You're used to, oh, see how I just about curved it this way? It would have made a big kink because my curvature is wrong. So I need to flip this and then curl. So as a stylist, as I was saying, we kind of get used to always having something in our hand as we're parting or making a neck section or cutting. There's always a comb in our hand. So I rarely set my flat iron down, just more so when I'm sectioning. Take my clip out, clip it to my shirt, do one more little section. People usually ask me how long this takes me. It's usually 5 to 8 minutes, but because I'm talking and teaching along the way, it'll take a little bit longer. So right now we're at 11 minutes, but generally this doesn't take me very long. Now look at the size of my section I just grabbed. Way too big. That's about the width of my curling iron. You can always double check. There we go. Straight out 90 degrees. If you wanted a little bit more volume when you get to the top, you could. Maybe I will today, actually. Oh, that one kind of flipped upwards. I always like the tail to kind of come below. There, look at that volume up in here. It's pretty, hey? Kind of have a weird end. So if you get a weird end, you can go back in, clip it, and curl it, and it'll fall back into place. Do I do this every day? No. But honestly, I find that this style takes me just the same amount of time as flat ironing my hair if I were to make it like straight and kind of curved unders or curved out or a little bit of wave. So I really like to do this style. I only wash my hair maybe twice a week. I bath every night because I love having a bath, but I only wash it about twice a week. And the reason is because I have kind of a drier, more textured curly hair, plus I lighten my hair. So I like my natural oils to kind of melt down my hair. Not that I have much oils. I have kind of a dry scalp, dry skin. But once a week, I generally like to use the Violet shampoo and conditioner from Surface. And what that does is it tones out any brassiness that's in my hair. There we go. It's coming along, one more section. Pull it down. Now I'm gonna just keep where my part is. I like my part here. Now you can see I have roots. I've actually decided that the next time I color my hair, which is next week, I'm gonna emphasize that a little bit and keep a drop root shadow. I really love my hair more when I have this darker perimeter around my face. I just feel like it frames it better. So that's something that you can always play around with when you're styling your hair, is to kind of take note of how shadows affect your hair, especially when you're curling it or if you wear it straight more often. Now, I didn't really explain this section. When I took this section, I like this part because it's my bang to come a little bit flatter. So what I did, and I still want it curving away from my face. So I take my flat iron this way and I'm gonna pull it backwards, but I kind of drag it down and then curl. Okay. Now my section is a lot wider than the 2 inches. I'm just trying to be a little bit speedier, but the width is still the 1.5 to 2 inches, okay? So when I get to the top, you can either put your arm underneath and clamp it and pull and come out, or you can go above. I generally flip to up above because it naturally just feels better. I'm used to having this arm up. It's quite strong from blow drying clients. And when you get to the top, this looks like I'm over directing it, but it's actually 90 degrees. This is where my hair will come out of my scalp, right? Versus this would be under directed, this would be over directed. So I'm still having it at that 90-degree angle, pulling it up, getting that nice full rotation in there, and then keeping that tail up as I pull. Now sometimes, because this is a bigger section, I'll keep my direction the same and just go one more pass over it, just to really get that nice solid curl in there. Considering I only want to do this once or twice a week. Look at that. As I drop my flat iron, get my next section out. Okay. Still at 90 degrees, got my tail and pulling it out. So in case you've never been here, this is in Lumsden. This is my host salon. I not only do hair in here, but I'm also an intuitive medium. So I do a lot of spiritual energy healing in this room. What is that? I connect with your angels, God, your protectors, your guides, and I tune into your frequency for messages for your highest and greatest good. How? I don't know. I've always been a little different my whole life, receiving messages through dreams or feelings or energy. And now that I've learned how to practice it through many different ways, I can do it when I want, and I can turn it off when I want for the most part. So if this is your first time watching, my website is higherlevelbeauty.com. And you can go on there and you can book online. I do online readings as well as in person. Okay, there we go. So the next step is I would kind of want this to cool. Now you can tell the difference of dragging something down lower and then curling just the last half of your hair versus curling right from the root. So I like to have a little bit of swag, I don't know what you'd call it, a little bit of a drag to come down, just so it's not, tight curls right from the top. It gives that little bit of direction and getting that triangle effect on my face. Okay, next thing you can do is give it one last spray, because this is a finishing kind of hold and shine and protect. You can give it one last spray. Then my next favorite thing to do is to take this Surface Shine Shift Wax, and it is clear. As you can see, it's almost gone. I don't use very much at all. Let's see if you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see how much is on there. As you can see, it's very thick. It just stays on. It's like a very thick jelly. I can actually squish it and it will stay on my finger. Okay, so what I do is I get this in my hands. Can you tell I don't do videos often? Look at how thick that is. It just stays there. Now I have thick hair, so I'm using quite a bit, but what I do is I get it nice and warm in my hands. I really work it in. As you can see, there's a lot of shine on my hands. So with blondes especially, we don't have a ton of natural shine. Take that out. Okay, so what I do is while it's still nice and wet, is I scrunch it in just to kind of more evenly disperse it than anything. Really kind of work it on the tops of my hands. And then I'm going to use my fingers. You could use a comb and just rake through, because I want this to be less curly. So I'm actually going to pull it straight down and then kind of re-scrunch it up. The nice thing about Surface products is because it's plant-based, it's very flexible. So you can really look at it, I'm pulling it straight. And then as soon as I put it back, because it's a thermal setting spray, it remembers, it has a memory of where we placed it with heat. So just really raking that product through. You can see I've really pulled it down, and I'm just going to push it back up. There we have it. So if you like your front a little bit more straight, which I do, you can pull it down a little bit. You can hold it. You can, because you've got the Shift Shine Wax in there, you can pull little pieces and pull it up. Something else cute you could do with this style is a little braid right in here, and you could just even a twist. With a little bit of a pin, stick that in. It's pretty cute, ready to go. You could do a headband braid, but look at, because I just did that, I can still bring it back to where it was. I absolutely love Surface product. Okay, so I hope that helps you understand how I curl my hair. I'm sorry for a lengthy video, it's 20 minutes long, but I really wanted to explain how I do it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Again, this is Higher Level Beauty. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you with the next video.